All right, so you're moving from across the state, from out of state, maybe from Dallas or Fort Worth or down from Denton or something like that. And you need to know why Flower Mound checks all the boxes. And me, starting off as a 62-year-old with a new chapter in my life, I'm going to tell you why, what I found. And, why Flower Mound? Well, for me personally, Dallas had become a really big city, and it just no longer fit my lifestyle. The growth in Dallas has been exponential. And one of the bigger drivers for me is the traffic and the roads are terrible in Dallas, even after they've passed big bond packages. And the traffic is it's constantly just unbelievable. I mean, from 5 o'clock in the morning, it's 24 hours a day. But the problem is that there's so much growth going on and so much increased density that I don't believe that the city can keep up with it. But you know what? That's neither here nor there, and I'm not going to get into politics. But bottom line, it didn't fit my lifestyle, and that was it. And I started looking for something a little bit more calmer. I always enjoyed going out to White Rock Lake, so I liked the green, the lake, but it just didn't really have that. It was tough to walk up and down neighborhood streets without a ton of traffic, and you weren't sure if people were even paying attention because they speed everywhere. And I was looking for something that was a little bit more intentional, but I wasn't looking for something that was flashy and necessarily new. I wanted something a little bit more established. So that's where I started. And honestly, Flower Mound was not originally on my radar. What was on my radar, I was kind of still looking in the North Dallas area, and then I'd look at this other area, and I was like, eh. And we needed to be close to DFW Airport. That was a kicker. I mean, we were already living probably 20 to 30 minutes away from the airport while we were in Dallas, but if traffic got heavy, it could be an hour before you got out to the airport. But finally, kind of exploring Flower Mound, like when I'm out showing clients, and I'm a broker, when I'm out showing clients, a lot of times you'll go, okay, we'll go look at 2 or 3 homes here in Frisco, we'll look at a couple in Plano, we'll look at Allen, so that they can kind of get an idea of what they're thinking about. And the same went for Flower Mound, Trophy Club, Roanoke, and all these other surrounding areas, Double Oak, Highland Village. But the story on this was, I was looking for something. Sometimes when you get out into some of these suburbs, you feel like you're super isolated. I've already been through that on 2 separate occasions when I was younger, and I didn't want to go through that again. So, but I didn't want all the hype and all the crazy prices that were going out of control up in Frisco. And Frisco, quite frankly, is just too far from me. But I started taking a deeper dive, and this became what I thought was a perfect blend. I mean, it was kind of like this peace without isolation. So the southern tip of Flower Mound borders along Lake Grapevine. And, if you kind of go out west a little bit, you're going to see cows, and it's country. It's still farmland. I mean, it's peaceful. And even driving up to Denton, where I have family, it's not a bad drive. And I was looking for something with a little bit more community, because in Dallas, people are busy. People got things going on. They're coming and going. It's just not the community feel that I grew up with. But Flower Mound to me it's suburban, but it's not sterile. I don't know if that makes any sense, because I mean, for me, Flower Mound didn't check just one box, it checked them all. So, I mean, let's kind of run through what I'm kind of talking about. The neighborhood feel, okay? We have quiet, established neighborhoods. There's streets with less noise, there's fewer cars, it's a slower pace. I'm telling you, you go into some of these suburbs, and there are cars all parked along the street. Each house has 3 or 4 cars. Everybody's got junk in their garage, so they can't park in their garage. I mean, it's really kind of stressful when you drive down some of these suburb streets. Out here, people are out walking, kids are playing, and neighbors are chatting. I mean, it's like an alternate universe for me, kind of, coming from Dallas. I mean, it feels safe, it feels familiar, and to me, it feels like it's super grounded in what's going on. It reminded me of the way a neighborhood or neighborhoods are supposed to feel that I grew up in, And if you're living across the country in Chicago or New York or wherever, I mean, I've helped people from a lot of states to move here, and you're looking for something besides that big city pace. I mean, Dallas is crazy. It's becoming a little bit unaffordable, but we won't go down that road today. But in Flower Mound, the one thing I love all the mature trees and the green space. Flower Mound was intentionally built. When they built a lot of these developments, there was, I don't remember what the percentage was, and I haven't really looked it up, but if you built a development, you had to have a certain percentage of dedicated to green space, whether it was medians, parks, walking trails, because there's like over 60 miles of walking trails here. It might even be higher than that. But, you're not feeling the concrete, like there's no green space in Dallas. It's all just being choked away, I think. But, that's my opinion. Here there's like shade everywhere. It's so wonderful, especially in this Texas heat, because we didn't have a bad summer. This is 2025. We didn't have a super bad summer, but I'm telling you, when we have the bad summers and it starts up early in May, it's 100 degrees every day, and it's miserable. We've got trails that are like tucked into different neighborhoods. I love going out and exploring some of that stuff, and I'll take you with me one of these days. There's green belts, there's parks, there's creek paths. I mean, it just blends into everyday life. The neighborhood that I live in, there's creeks that run. There's a golf course. There's beautiful creeks and little lakes that run all through the golf. It's phenomenal. And you know what? You get this small town feel here without the small town limitations. There is economic growth going on constantly. You can go to Flower Mound. I think it's flowermound.org or something like that. It's their city website. And you can go into one of those tabs and you can look at their planning and zoning stuff, which is really kind of cool. Really kind of cool to look at. And you can see who's coming to town. We're getting a Whataburger and we're getting a Dutch Bros or some other stuff like that. I mean, it's just kind of cool to see what's coming. I mean, you still get the charm. Everybody's friendly. I'm telling you, I have not been to a grocery store or anything like that in a long time where I did not feel like a number or just get out, get your groceries and get out. I mean, here people are just like super friendly everywhere I go. I'm telling you, it's an alternate universe for me coming from Dallas. You're not sacrificing any modern conveniences. So be that as it may, there is, you've got everything that you need here. So, my collar. There's plenty of shopping. There's plenty of healthcare. I mean, we've got a major hospital on 2499. It's Presbyterian. And there's tons of surrounding hospitals, but there's doctors' offices all over the place. And everything, like I've got doctors that are like 5 minutes from where I live. I mean, I've never had that in my whole life. I can tell you in Dallas, it was a 45-minute drive to my doctor. I think the restaurants are charming. We've got gyms. We've got, all sorts of services. If you are older, we've got a great senior center. I haven't used it, although I'm 62. Don't make fun of me. But I haven't used it, and I haven't gone. Overall, it's just and the thing that gets me is this place is super clean. The grass is mowed all the time, everywhere. The streets do not have trash all over the place. I mean, there's like no. I don't hear the noise pollution. Like living in Dallas, a lot of times you got these cars with the big, and all that stuff. I don't hear any of that out here at all. I mean, an occasional siren from the fire department down the street, but you've got so much natural beauty out here, and I'm telling you, overall, people seem really relaxed and grounded. And you know what? Maybe that's not what you want, and maybe Flower Mound's not what you're looking for. But I mean, it's great for anybody that's in their 40s and 50s and 60s, or even in the retirement phase. I'm not retired. I enjoy what I'm doing, and as a broker, I've got a little bit more freedom to do stuff, and I really love it. I mean, Flower Mound to me, makes me breathe easier, and I mean literally and figuratively. I can take nice, beautiful, deep breaths when I'm out walking. I'm like, oh, this is amazing, and I just like sharing it with people. There's convenient access here, which checks one of my boxes to DFW Airport. I mean, we go travel frequently, and DFW is where we need to be. And I went this morning about 5 o'clock. It's a 20-minute drive to get into the north side of the airport. I mean, it's like zip right in. There's no major highways I have to deal with. I just go straight into the north end. I mean, and think about it. If you move here, this would be perfect for family visits if you got people from out of state. Now, excuse me. If they're going to come in off of Southwest Airlines, for right now, you still have to go over to Love Field, which is probably 45-minute to an hour drive from Flower Mound. But if they're coming in on American or United or some of those other carriers, Southwest is the primary one out of Love Field. But it's perfect for travel. Flower Mound's perfect for business because you can access the airport so quickly. And honestly, you're never far from either side of the world. It's 30 minutes to Fort Worth. It's 30 minutes to Dallas. And then you've got all these other surrounding towns. There's Grapevine has got a historic district. They've always got something going on. I mean, all of these areas have stuff going on all the time. Louisville has, they have their little frontier days and stuff like that. But that's part of, checking that box. I mean, it's quick destinations. And I didn't realize it until I actually moved out here, and I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, I can get to Dallas, I can get to Grapevine, I can get into Louisville. There's a hospital like 5 minutes away if there's an emergency. There's not a whole lot of entertainment, but I mean, I don't need to be entertained. There's shopping all within reach. And I mean, you get all the benefits of DFW, right, without the burden of actually living in Dallas or Fort Worth. I mean, it's just easier, calmer driving overall. There's little to no gridlock. This intersections are huge, so you're not like scrambling. And people out here seem to be a lot more respectful when they're driving than they do in Dallas. In Dallas, it's like wheels off. I'm like, what's going on? It's like a racetrack over there. I can run errands without scheduling my day around traffic. I can go anytime. Now, I do have a middle school up here, so I try to avoid going when the school's going in or out. But aside from that, I mean, it's like a 30-minute window. I don't have to sit here and go, okay, traffic, I got to go up to North Park, I got to go to Highland Park Village, I got to go to the post office. I mean, that can be a 3-hour deal in Dallas. Easy. And, that was part of the access. When I moved to Flower Mound, it's like, okay, nailed it. This is good. I know this might sound silly to you, but there's so much community and lifestyle here. It was really weird, and it caught me off guard for a long time. I like to go out and walk on a daily basis, and people waved, they smiled, and they seemed like they were helpful if you needed something, although I haven't really needed anything. But it was like this feeling of mutual respect and neighborliness. I'm like, what's going on? In Dallas, you don't have that. I'm telling you, you do not have that in these big cities. And I grew up in Dallas, and I never thought that I would see the day when Dallas would become that kind of city, like a New York or Chicago or Los Angeles or Miami or some of those other ones. But it did. It did. I mean, you feel like when you're out here, to me, I just feel like I'm part of something as opposed to just living nearby people. We had Halloween, and I live in a cul-de-sac, and instead of the neighbors making the kids go all the way around the cul-de-sac, they set up a couple of tables at the end of the cul-de-sac. And there was probably, if I count, maybe 6 or 7 homes in this cul-de-sac. And we all brought candy, and the kids came and got a piece of candy from each household. I have not seen that it's probably been 30 years, honestly. I lived in this one suburb that was relatively older. It was one of the first developments for a golf community in North Texas, and it was kind of an older group over there. And then I lived at one point on an acre of land in North Fort Worth, and nobody came there. I mean, it was just like it took forever to walk from house to house, so kids just didn't do anything. But you know what? We have local events, so I thought that was cool. So you kind of feel like you're part of something and not just nearby. And the neighbors came and knocked on the door and invited us, and I was like, wow, they don't even know who we are, and this is great. But there's also, we have local events. There's Independence Fest every Sunday. There's a farmers market, which guilty, I haven't been to yet. There's summer concerts at Lakeside. There's seasonal festivities. They just had the fall festival for the kids. There's parades, charity events. Flower Mound has a soul, and you can kind of feel it, if that makes sense. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, and you've got to just spend a little bit more time. You got to spend some time coming out here. I always feel like it's a safe, connected environment, but I have to preface that by saying, you know what, I'm a real estate broker, and I can't say something's safe or not safe because that's going to get me in all sorts of hot water. So, safety to me is feeling comfortable when I walk out my door and I'm not concerned about getting mugged or run over or stuff thrown at me from somebody's car. But, Flower Mound's great for walking. The parks are great. The playgrounds are great. The sports fields are manicured. And, people here, they get out and they enjoy their community. And for me, that's peace of mind. I mean, I'm 62 years old and can't believe I waited this long, but here I am. Better late than never, right? The lifestyle here, it kind of encourages a connection. It's so much easier to meet people here if that's what you want to do. It's so much easier to get involved in things. And it's just easier if you want to feel rooted in the community. And it's just something as a country, probably this is maybe a social observation that we've lost. But it's amazing to me that living in Dallas, I thought, you know what, it is what it is, and that's just the way things are. But I was not prepared for this kind of a change, and it really checked off that box. Another thing for me was the nature and the trail and the outdoor living. I love being outside, just love it. Even when it's hot, I still love it. But there's trails everywhere, and if you walk daily, there are dozens and dozens of miles of well-maintained trails. There's connected paths through different neighborhoods. It's a built-in lifestyle boost. You know what I'm saying? It's great for health and longevity, I think, and your mental capacity. Again, we're close to lakes, right next to Lake Grapevine or Louisville. If you have a boat, great. If you don't, you can rent one, I'm pretty sure. Really nice marinas in some of these areas in Grapevine. And Grapevine's, it's a big lake, and it does not... it's not a busy lake, and it's really pretty to look at. There's a lot of areas to go and look at. The parks and the marinas, you have fishing. There's areas of Lake Grapevine that have kayaking, and again, the walking trails. They also have an area for off-road bicycles. I don't even know what it's called, but if you do that kind of thing, then you know what I'm talking about. And the sunset views at the lake it's pretty incredible. I mean, it's really good therapy. And you know what? And I'll bring up a point about dogs. This is a dog-friendly community. I don't see a lot of people with dogs, but in Dallas, for some reason, because we were living in a condo at a time, everybody seemed to have a dog. And it wasn't one dog. It was like 2 or 3 dogs. And I'm like, how are these people living in a 500 square foot apartment with 3 dogs? I mean, I didn't understand it. I mean, here I understand it because, a lot of these homes are quarter-acre lots or normal-sized lots or even, 2 or 3 acre lots. So, I mean, the dogs have plenty of room to run around. Heritage Park has, I forget what the dog park is called, but they got a big dog park over there. And there's walkers everywhere. I mean, it's great for people that want to have an active lifestyle with pets. If you have a pet, your best friend, right? So it's fitness and nature combined all together. That's the sense I get. And it's just scenic. And, you stay active. How can I put this without feeling like you're working out, like it's forced. I got to run. I got to move fast. I mean, living here to me actually makes me feel younger. I know that sounds kind of strange, but finding, when it comes to looking at housing, this is another point that I kind of want to go over. I can't stand the word downsizing. It's right sizing. You don't want anything tiny. You want something that's just right. So we're looking for right sizing. In Flower Mound neighborhoods, there's so many neighborhoods that you can find the balance that you're looking for in the size home. Some of the homes, like in Dallas, you got a lot of homes that were built in the 40s and 50s and 60s where, you've got foundation issues, you got to replace the fence. Sewer pipe is a big deal in Dallas. A lot of those pipes were old and broken, and to replace that can be, $10,000 plus. But anyway, I mean, Flower Mound is a lower maintenance home option overall because it's not that old of a community compared to Dallas or Fort Worth. I mean, you've got updated homes, you got some newer construction, you got more modern layouts. You might have smaller yards, but they're still beautiful. I mean, it's great for enjoying life and not just maintaining it. And that, to me, was, we would walk into some of these homes in Dallas, and it's like, God, you're going to spend, $200,000-$300,000 to update this, and you're still going to have the original shell and the original footprint. And, I don't know what that looks like when it's all said and done. You could still have problems a few years down the road. But think about it here, neighborhood styles, and there's something for every lifestyle here. That's what I really like. I mean, we've got established tree-lined neighborhoods, newer developments. We have some of those going on. We've got patio homes or zero lot line homes, whatever you want to call them, luxury homes, golf course community. I live in a golf course community, although I don't play golf. I should because it's a beautiful course. We have adjacent streets that are right down the street from the lake. And, I mean, there's a place for everybody's lifestyle and everybody's phase that they're in. And that's what I love about it. I mean, walkability inside neighborhoods, it's pleasant. It encourages kind of you want to get out and do it. It's not like a chore. And it just kind of builds community naturally. You're like, hey, how's it going? Is it a long-term safer investment? There is strong demand, but when I made this video, I looked, there's like 193 properties in Flower Mound at all different price ranges from like $400 to over $7 million. So there's a wide range of homes for sale. We've got highly rated schools. I would recommend that you go to the website for the state, which I'm not sure off the top of my head what it is. But it's a stable community. It's a planned community, but it's not planned. It's just a smart way of looking at things. And Flower Mound ages well. I mean, as a town, it's fantastic. I mean, it's really nice. I mean, Flower Mound for me offered what Dallas could not. I'm going to kind of wrap it up by saying it was peace without boredom, access without the chaos, because there's a lot of chaos in Dallas. Community without congestion, okay? Nature without isolation, so you're not like in a forest somewhere. And it's a home, you can find a home that fits your lifestyle today and in the future. It just didn't feel like a move to me. It just felt like the right chapter. If you have any questions or comments, please subscribe. Please send them to me. I will respond. And I'm Chris Hooper with Chris Hooper Realty. I look forward to talking to you next time. Take care.